This is Professor Survi Agarwal and I am here to talk about presentation skills. We all need presentation skills on a daily basis to deal with lots of people in our daily life. Like we need it for family, we need it for teachers, we need it for corporate clients, we need it for our bosses and subordinates. And why presentation skills are so important? So that we can convince, negotiate and deal with these kind of people who will be advantage to us in the future. For presentation skills, lot of things has to be kept in mind, and today we will be covering all those points. One is confidence, and confidence comes from knowledge. And for that knowledge, you have to decide whether the presentation is a technical presentation or a candid casual presentation. If it is a technical presentation, your knowledge base will be very important. You have to pre-plan what questions will be thrown at you, and you have to write the answers of these questions so that you are planned beforehand. Practice. Practice is very important in presentation skills. Either you practice in front of the mirror at your house, or you practice it with your mother or a best friend, with whomever you are comfortable to talk with. Once you practice this and when you face the audience, it is very convenient for you because you can imagine that your mother or best friend is sitting right ahead of you, and it will help you to connect to the audience better. Try to have an eye contact with the audience, even if the audience is sitting in a dark room or you cannot see the audience, but still you have to imagine that they are there, they are looking at you and you are supposed to look back at them. Direct eye contact makes your presentation very influential. Second thing is comfort. Why comfort is important? Because the way you dress up, the way you carry yourself, the way you come on time will make your body language and gestures more comfortable, and you will be at ease while giving the presentation. Third is precise. Why to keep a presentation to the point and precise? Because today there are so many diversions that people have, and the more crisp you will keep your presentation, people will understand it better. So avoid detailed long presentation, it makes anyone bored. Next is you have to go with complete preparation. Preparation means you might need audio visuals, pen drives, laptops, even generators sometimes as a backup. Why this preparation helps you to give a good presentation is because you are mentally not disturbed that my preparation is not complete, and if unfortunately something goes wrong, everything will have a backup. A backup is very important in presentation skills. If possible, send your team before you and let them check the electrical connections, the technical setup, audio setup, etc. So that when you come, you are directly starting and the audience is happy that the main speaker is ready with the presentation. When we are dealing with audience, it is better to avoid lame and cheap jokes and gestures which will make the audience uncomfortable. Avoid vulgar comments or personal comments. Also avoid giving your own personal examples just to prove your point, because audience is not going to be subjective but objective. You have to build in-depth topics slowly, gradually, and go into the details gradually. So the audience wants to know when, where, how, which. You can focus on these questions. While giving presentation, see to it that you take a pause. A pause is important for the audience to digest what you have told, to absorb the points and to analyze what you have told. After a pause only, ask the audience question. Did you understand? How was it? Do you want me to repeat? Did it make sense to you? Do you think it was useful? Say yes or no. These are close-ended questions. That means the audience is supposed to reply in 1 or 2 words. If the audience replies either yes or no, that means the audience is engaged and it becomes a bit of two-way communication. Every audience is different. They all have their own types of personalities. And sometimes to break the ice, it is important to crack. Small bunches can be in the beginning, it can be at the center of the presentation or at the end. This gives the audience a little happy look and they relate more to you. Also, sometimes allow the audience to clap. When they are clapping, don't continuously speak. Pause, let them clap, let them express themselves, let them make noise sometimes. Then cool down everything and then restart. Okay. After this, we see Opinions and facts are different. Okay, in opinion, it can be that the train will come at 8:26. It might not be true, or it is sunny outside. But when I say India got independence in 1947, or recently a test series was held for cricket, these are facts. An audience will relate more to numbers and facts. For the same, you can bring your notes, tables, charts, illustrations, and PPT presentation so that the audience can relate to the simple statistics. Keep it simple. Also, understand the venue. If it is a hall, it is a room, it is a big auditorium, because the audience can be a 2 in number, a 4, a 6, or it can be hundreds of people. And every audience needs a different kind of volume when you talk and different kind of length of the notes. Audience has a pair of eyes and a pair of ears. So if you are going to play visuals and along with that you will keep speaking, the audience will get confused. Also, you have to understand that they can use both together but not too much at the same time. Also, when you are playing a video, you have to switch off the lights, and when you are speaking, the lights have to be switched on. This coordination has to be explained to the technical team. Secondly, it is a two-way process. The more you respect the audience, you will get it back. Avoid any contradictions in what you say, specifically during question answer round at the end, and be to the point, and you see to it that you take a feedback from the audience. Your voice and body movement will be seen by the audience. See to it that it has a modulation, otherwise it will sound like a robot and audience will get bored. Basically, a presentation skill can make a big client deal with you and give income of lakhs of rupees, and if the presentation skill does not go well, you can lose the client. So basically, your promotion can be dependent on your presentation skills. It's high time that you improve it. Pleasantries and salutations like "Dear sir, excuse me madam, audience, may I have your attention? Please excuse me, sit down. Thank you so much." These are very important and adds value to your presentation. Giving a nice intro or a punchline makes it more effective. You can summarize a small intro about yourself to tell the audience and summarize at the end to conclude in 3 to 4 lines of what all you have spoken in like a review mode. Also, during the presentation, you can give a lot of anecdotes and quotations from experts. You can quote from current news. It will add value. 100% definitely. Time management is very important throughout the presentation. Coming on time, starting everything on time so that audience respects you more. And for that, lot of pre-planning is required. Visuals help 70% retention more than the text. And that is what you should keep in mind when you are talking about presentation skills. There was this board of directors who used to come and meet the managers on a regular basis to understand the problems and issues happening in the company. But the managers did not know how to keep the presentations short and crisp and convince the directors about the problems. This caused a lot of problems between them. That is why directors kept a 3-day training session for these managers. During the 3 days training sessions, the managers were taught a lot of things like body language, gestures, how to write precisely and concisely, and how to understand the cases and evaluate the problems and come up with the solutions. After these 3 days training, the board of directors actually sat as audience and looked at managers' presentations, and they were impressed by the change. Similarly, in a presidential office, president had to meet some engineers for infrastructural growth to discuss the issues happening during that and to give more budget for the same. But engineers were very good with their job and technical knowledge, but they did not know how to convince the president for all this, and that is why the president was not allowing the budget. Then the engineers went for a training session with online Shine, and they learned about how to have an effective presentation. Again, they met the president, and the presentation, which would otherwise have taken 3 hours, got finished in half an hour, and the president was impressed and he sanctioned the budget. Now we see that these presentation skills are useful in a lot of areas like group discussions, personal interviews. It is used during examinations, it is used during sponsorship and marketing. It is used by HR managers, it is used by head of departments, whether it is from finance department, marketing department, systems department, public relations departments, because the head of the department has to convince his boss and he has to take the juniors along with him. Presentations are also used in displays, launches, exhibitions, or when there are campaigns. So that is why we see that presentations are really very important in our daily walk of life. It is only a matter of time that you will become good at presentations, because a good speaker will always be remembered. I hope that this video was useful to you. It is high time that you improve your presentation skills.